you turn it down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's going on, guys? Thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you guys so much.
We're super excited about tonight. We're really going to go in on acquisitions.
Ooh.
Guys, this is the Cash Geeks Network show. I'm Dom.
And I'm G.
And guys, this is the Cash Geeks Network. And we're so happy to have you guys all on. And you already know we got Hayden on. This guy is a fucking winner, guys. I don't know if we have to explain it to them,
losses only,
but I think they already know. So guys, once again, it's the Cash Geeks Network show. We talk to you guys about everything real estate as far as real estate investing, wholesaling. We interview a lot of people with regards to the resale end of real estate, the retail end of real estate, and we're happy to have you guys on. If you guys haven't seen this show before, go to youtube.com/the Cash Geeks Network, and you can check all of our past videos. But tonight, we're going to go in. And I don't know if they're ready for it, but we are going to go in.
Favorite part, probably your favorite part too.
Yeah.
Just straight acquisitions.
Acquisitions, baby.
Straight acquisitions. We got one of the best closers in the country.
I think so.
And let's bring this guy on, man.
Bring him on in, Warren.
Hey, what's happening, boys?
Yo.
What's going on? What's going on? Getting started without me? You guys are drinking? I like it.
Kind of. We might be a little drunk, but that's okay.
Right
You
on,
already
right
know.
on. I need to catch up.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have my man Andy Garcia in the building. He's one of the best closers in the nation from as far as what we've seen and what we've experienced. Andy, we're so happy to have you on. Thank you so much for doing this, brother. If you don't mind, Andy, we'll just go right into it and just tell the crowd and everyone watching a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate, man.
Yeah, for sure. And before I get started, thank you guys for bringing me on. I know there's been a lot of badasses, on your guys' podcast, so I'm definitely honored to be here. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Andy Garcia, the Wolf of Closing. I got that title. You guys like that? Yeah, I earned that title. There we go.
We met you when you were the Mountain. We
yeah,
met you when you were a whale shark.
Whale shark, yeah.
Yep, I transitioned. I evolved, baby.
I went from whale shark to Wolf of Closing.
Yes, sir. But pretty much just how I got started in real estate. It's simple. So for those of you guys who've been following me know that I'm Alex Saenz' sales director at Offer Home, also head of acquisitions. And really, it was interesting for me. I started real estate when I was 19 years old. I just turned 19. And I'll never forget, Alex and myself, we've gone to school together since kindergarten. So I've known him my whole life. And when we were little, I kid you not, bro, when we were little, probably maybe third, fourth grade, our dads were in construction. So we used to draw out blueprints of what our future houses would be. And I think it's just funny how it works, right? I mean, our passion back then was houses. How can we get to the point where we elevate ourselves? And, that was just like one of the clues for us growing up that we're going to be in real estate. But, I ended up working, I graduated from Domino's and, I graduated from high school. I started working at Domino's. Yeah, so I started working there, and I was also working at a call center. And at this point, Alex is maybe like 3 months into his journey in real estate. And I'll never forget, he closed 2 deals, and he probably made like 40, 50 grand at the time. And, for myself, being a 19-year-old kid, where we come from, we never knew anybody who just had 30 to 40 grand laying around. That was big money. So immediately I go to Alex and I say, hey, I don't know what the fuck you did. I said, but I need you to teach me, and I'm going to do it for free.
Dude,
I said, just bring me on. I said, I'm hungry. I said, I'll bring my value's worth. But like I said, I don't want anything in exchange. Just bring me on, no strings attached. Let me put in the work. And sure enough, I mean, he had me door knocking, he had me cold calling, and that's pretty much how I got started.
Nice, man. So you did the what's the guy's name? The Jonah Hill and Wolf of Wall Street. You show me a pay stub that you made 70 grand last month. I'll call my boss and I'll quit right now.
Dude, absolutely, that's how it went. To be honest, I mean, that's a great example. I mean, I'd grown up with Alex my whole life, so for me, it wasn't like, anything different than having a conversation with a friend. I mean, I saw opportunity and, and I ran with it. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's that's where a lot of people fuck up. It's like they have this great opportunity in their hands, and because, they just got caught in the right place with the wrong mindset, they don't take up on it. And that's like
Right.
really the difference for myself, and even for those business owners on here who want to replace themselves on the phone, who want to find a closer. It's like, are you dealing with somebody who's like reaching out to you and saying, hey, let me do whatever you need for free, I just want to learn.
Right.
That's the type of people you're looking for.
Yeah. So you went, that's how you got started. What does your day-to-day look like now? What does your business look like now?
Simple. So, I mean, on a Monday, I mean, going based off Monday, I mean, first thing, Monday morning meetings with my acquisition. So there's 3 of us making phone calls every single day. And I pretty much just bring them into my office first thing and say, you know what? It's freaking Monday around here. You eat what you kill. Let's hype each other up and, start towards a great week. And then first thing I do when I finish that meeting is I'll start to look over any new untouched leads. And you call those first, obviously, right? I mean, you never want to have untouched leads in your system.
Mm.
And then after that, I mean, you're pretty much just sorting through tasks, right? Sorting through follow-up leads, contacting people who you had, good conversations with. Because, I mean, unfortunately, like, you guys know this, right? In a perfect world, people will just do business with us right away, but it doesn't always happen on our time frame. We have to
Right.
be ready. We have to reach out to these people consistently.
Yeah.
Nice. I've got a quick question for you. As the lead acquisition person or the acquisition director, lead salesperson, right? What do you do on a daily basis to keep your people motivated? And I want to also just add in, acquisitions it's no party every day, right? You do have
Absolutely
to grind
not.
to get your deals. We fight every single day to get our deals, right? So we may do very well in our own respect and we may have great lives, but we do dive in and we grind to get those deals and to make a great life, right? So how do you, because it's 90 to 95% no's versus the 5 to 10% yeses, and I may be high on the yeses. So how do you keep that positive momentum on your team?
Well, I mean, culture is everything, right? And I think that's where it starts off. It's like, I don't ever want my guys to look at me and then
Okay.
look at me from a perspective where I'm superior to them. I mean, when you collectively bring your team together and you say, hey, you know what? There is no titles. I'm just like you. Let's get to work. And as a leader, when you're grinding, bro, what happens? The rest of the team has to catch up, or else they're just sitting there and they probably feel stupid by the end of the day, right? When they're realizing, hey, you know what? This dude, locked a contract up. This dude got 2 deals today. I didn't get shit. And again, I mean, culture is a big part of that, man. From gonging to, celebrating each other's wins and really just setting a standard for, hey, this is how work is done. If I, as your leader, am willing to do this work, then there should be no question about you grinding your ass off. And I mean, you guys said it correctly. Sales is not sexy. I mean, can we all agree?
Right. Yeah.
We agree. We agree.
Not sexy, man. Shit's tough.
You guys call that leading from the front, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Lead from the front. And I mean, given the fact that we already know most people are going to tell us no, number one, I'm already at peace with it. Like, I'll take a no, and a yes. Obviously, we're in business for yeses all day, right? But it's those maybes that give you uncertainty. It's those maybes that, like Adrian, they give you the gray hairs. For me, my hair started thinning like really early, and I was like, oh, fuck. Why is this? Because I have all these maybes, these people who, once again, are not being direct with me.
So that's great. So how do you figure out who's a yes and who's a no, and what does that sales process look like in your guys' business?
Or can I add in, how do you figure out who inside of those maybes are a yes?
Or go ahead.
Oh my God, you guys are doubling up here. No, great question. People always ask me, they're like, hey, I spent 60 minutes on the phone with this person. Did I spend too much time on the phone with them? Or somebody will tell me, hey, I spent 45 minutes on the phone with this person. Is that too much time? And my answer is absolutely not, as long as it's with the right prospect, right? And that's what's important, is that you spend the amount of time necessary with the right people. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm always pre-qualifying sellers before I get into making an offer, before I get into, asking questions about their property. Like, I want to know, how serious are you? And is there a chance that we're going to be able to do business today? Right? Because if not, then I completely understand that you're not ready to sell, but my time is too valuable to spend, 45 minutes on a phone call with you.
Right.
So,
Right.
Again, I guess what a little bit something for everybody watching is, advance agreements. This is what me and Adrian call them, advance agreements. We're essentially placing, the best possible scenarios in front of a seller, and then at that point, if they're like, no, it still doesn't work for me, then we know you're just a tire kicker. And, what that looks like is simple. It'd be something like, hey, Dom, I know you're interested in selling your property, and, we'd love to serve you with the sale of it. But before we go any further, I want to ask you, in a perfect world where I give you a price that makes you happy, I'm willing to work around the time that you need. And I'll even go above and beyond. If you have anything specific I need to take care of, I'll get it done. But again, if I can do all those three, give you a price that makes you happy, are you willing to do business with me today?
I
Right?
am.
And exactly. And we're asking these people this because at that point, somebody hears, oh, well, he's going to give me the money I need. He's going to, work around the time that I need. Maybe I need a cash advance. Maybe I need 30 days after closing. He says he's willing to make it happen. Then there would be no reason for me not to do business. These people generally say, yeah, I mean, if you can do all that, then I'll do it right away.
Right.
As opposed to a tire kicker, right? I asked them that question. Hey, I'm ready to give you the money that you need. I'm ready to work around your time. Are you willing to do business with me today? And at that point, they're still like, well, I don't know. I have to talk to so-and-so, or no, I don't even think I'd be ready at that point. Then, that just told me everything I need to know. Don't spend too much time with this person.
Right.
Dude,
Right.
not for nothing, but like if you've been in this business for several years, or you are a closer or an acquisitionist that's done several deals, and you apply that to your business, this last 10 minutes of this session is a $25,000 mastermind. That is enormous. The advanced agreements, dude, that's more enormous than I think people understand.
Anybody
people
watching will be sending out invoices. We'll kick you in, Andy. We'll figure something out.
What's the percentage? 10% is good?
Yeah, that works for me, brother. But for me, I think once again, everybody on here, don't look at this information and say, oh, because I'm tuning in right now and there was no cost for me to attend, that this information is not going to get me anywhere. I promise you, start incorporating advanced agreements into your phone calls, right? Because if we can save you 45 minutes on a call with the wrong person, and you use that time to actually reach out to people who do fit your buying criteria, you're just going to be in a better position to win. And there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than spending, an extended amount of time with the seller, just, for the end result to be you getting no new client, no new purchase agreement.
Right.
No new friends.
Right.
No new friends. No new friends.
Yeah. So, is that basically the kind of questions that you're asking? Like, how are you pre-qualifying your leads? What are you asking? What are you looking for in order to say, okay, this person is it just basically those three questions?
Well, that's one of them, right? And then as we go about the conversation with the seller, and what we have to realize is when you start making these phone calls to sellers, you start making these outbound phone calls with no hidden agenda. And you stop having this commission breath that so many people in our industry have, where you're just hungry for your next deal.
This guy.
And instead, you actually, oh yeah,
That onion breath.
Strong. But yeah, when you get rid of that mindset and just start talking to people like a regular person and saying, hey, this is the service that we have. I know you want to sell your property. I just want to see if our needs fit each other. Then we'd love to do business, and if not, we understand. But once again, I mean, when it comes to qualifying these people, I mean, like Dom said, when you've been in this business for a few years, you start to kind of get a feel. You kind of start to get this sixth sense where you already know when you're dealing with somebody who is not going to sell their property under retail. And then my philosophy is always move on to the next.
Yeah.
For the beginners, don't get attached to these leads. You know, we see that so frequently. It's like people getting attached to somebody who said, yeah, you know, I'm breathing. I have a house. I might sell. Right. And, you know, people get so excited about that when in all reality, once again, you know, off of those types of people, you might make $5,000 deal, $10,000 deal. But, you know, I mean, is that really going to change anyone's life? Absolutely not. You know, it's these big wins that create momentum for your company. $50,000 deals, $80,000 deals, $100,000 deals. And that's actually something I want to talk about for everybody on here. Some more game. Who knows what MAO? I mean, I can't see the chat box, but MAOs. MAOs stand for, in our business, maximum allowable offers. You know what we call them in our office? Make absolutely zero. And Dom and Gonzo, you guys probably know this. You've probably seen this, right? When your acquisition comes up to you or your sales director, whoever's in that position, and they're like, hey, guys, I've got this deal. It sounds great. You know, where do we have to be at? And you start running these numbers and you're like, well, I'd say max we want to be at about $200,000 for this property. And surely enough, right, assuming you have somebody solid on the phones, they're going to say, okay, we can pay up to 200. You know, good to know. They're going to walk out your office. They're going to go contact the seller, get them on the phone. And then they're going to walk back into your office and say, hey, guys, I got great fucking news. I got this property for $200,000. And then you're going to look at it and be like, well, shit, congratulations. We're going to make $5,000. Right? Maximum allowable offers. That's what an MAO is. Make absolutely zero. But when you stop trying to limit yourself and say, hey, where do I need to be at max in order for a deal to work, and start saying, hey, where do I need to be at for this to be a sexy freaking deal? When you start analyzing numbers that way, you know, what would be a jackpot of an assignment fee, or, you know, whatever the case is, then you really start to win, you know. And that's just what I've noticed, because it's like, you know, when we start once again, we approach these sellers and we already don't have confidence in our offer, and we're like, shit, I mean, you know, if I pay $200,000, that's 65% of retail. You know, I'm not very confident. You know, I'm going to work my way up, or I'm going to offer something sweeter. You know, for me, it's the opposite. I'm like, okay, I know we can sell this property at $200,000. I want to be as far away from that number as humanly possible. And once again, when you're pretty far away from that number, that means you're getting paid.
Right.
Yeah, basically what I'm hearing, what you're not exactly saying, but what I'm hearing is like, I'd rather be at 2 deals at 100K than 5 deals at 40K.
Absolutely. Any day of the week. And you guys know why. You know, I mean, think about how many escrows, if you're averaging, you know, $15,000 a deal, say $10,000 a deal, in order for you to make $100,000, you know, that's 10 different transactions, 10 different times you have to deposit EMD, 10 different title reports you have to obtain, 10 different sellers that you have to get to the finish line. And even on a like smaller scale, right? It's like, you know, I would rather do 4 deals at $25,000 than do 10 deals at $100,000 and get paid equally the same, and do, you know, 2-fold, 3-fold the amount of work.
Right.
So if MAO is make absolutely zero, what's the new
What's
acronym?
your MAO?
What's
MAO?
No, what's the new
we all
acronym?
know it's not necessarily, again, I mean, it's kind of hard to disbar that word from our, you know, vocabulary around here, because, I mean, we have to be realistic. At some point, there's a maximum number that we want to stay away from, but really it's the concept of that number.
Stay away from.
Like, stop being afraid to shoot offers at 40, 50 cents on the dollar. You know, otherwise you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you never know who's going to say yes. You never know who it's really not so much about the money and really just a matter of service, right? Them wanting to sell their property quick without a realtor, without, you know, a ton of walkthroughs, you know, without having to do any sort of repairs.
So do you have an acronym for the opposite of MAO?
No, just stay away from that from MAOs, because they fucking suck.
STAY.
Tomorrow when they come up to you, yo, what's my max? Stay away.
Stay away. Just stay away.
Oh, up to 200. You better not get it for 200.
I think we need to make an acronym. I think it needs to be like MAS, maximum allowable sexy.
Yeah.
Let's go,
I
baby.
agree with you.
Must.
We have to come up with an acronym for that. But
It needs to be
no,
must.
yeah, you guys get it. I mean, you guys, you guys are big players. You guys have done amazing things in real estate. You guys have closed a ton of deals. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, at that very moment when you get a deal, it's like you even come to notice that like the larger spread deals, like they almost feel fake sometimes.
Right.
They're
Like
easier.
we just closed an $80,000 deal last week, and for me, it's like that deal. I promise you, it's probably been one of the easiest deals I've ever closed.
Right.
Naples, Florida. I'm telling you, I talked to the seller once, one shot, one kill. So on the same phone call that the lead came in, I ended up closing her.
One shot, one kill.
One
Hmm.
shot, one kill. One shot,
We
one
call it
kill.
one call close,
No,
but
BBGs.
That's even better.
oh, BBG.
My
Yes,
bad.
sir.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. So again, I mean, it's like, when I made the offer, she just said yes right away, right? I gave myself a chance to win. I shot a low price, and that's where like building rapport pays off so much. Because if I built like this great relationship with someone on the phone, and I have my seller laughing, I have my seller agreeing with everything I'm saying, and again, she's looking forward to doing business with me, and I make her an offer at 50 cents on the dollar, opposed to somebody who maybe came in, they were all business, right? They made an offer probably at like the 10-minute mark in the conversation. Who's ever built that better relationship is going to get a better response. Someone who she didn't connect with, she's going to say, you know what, your price is absolutely ridiculous. Click. I have no interest in selling my property at that price. Click. Right? As opposed to, once again, if I have this relationship with her and I still make her a low ball offer, she's going to say, Andy, I'll be honest. I mean, I like you. You seem like a nice guy, but that price is just way too low. And there's no way I'd be willing to work with that. That's something I can work with. Right? Can we agree? I can work with that. But somebody who gets angry after I make them an offer, you shot yourself in the foot.
Right. So 10 minutes is too soon.
Yes, for me, yes. Personally, I feel, I mean, come on. I mean, you start, don't get me wrong. I mean, if it's a tire kicker, somebody who doesn't fit our buying criteria, then 10 to 15 minutes is probably a good time frame to determine that, make an offer. Then that you find out they're not interested, and boom, you go on your way. But I'll be honest, guys, like I've never closed a 6-figure deal where, I was on the phone for 10 minutes.
Right.
It's those 60-minute, 90-minute conversations where once I get off the phone and I get the agreement signed, and then I'm really looking at numbers closely, I'm like, oh fuck, this is a home run. This is a home run.
Yeah.
Oh, on that note, so you said you probably pre-agreed to a certain number. You wrap up the call. You analyze it a little bit further. You realize it's a home run. What are you doing on that front end to try to figure out those numbers in a quick aspect, if you don't mind sharing?
No, of course. So the thing about acquisitions, and I've always felt this way, if you have an acquisitions manager on the phone who's still coming by you to verify numbers, or maybe you're on the phones and you really don't understand how to run numbers at a really efficient level, then you're kind of like screwing yourself in a sense, because you don't really know your product, right? How can you sell your company, sell your services to others when you don't even know your product, right? So for me, it's like it's simple, man. I mean, I've gotten really good over the course of the last 5 years of being on the phone, where I can just run comps on the fly. And then when I'm talking to somebody where I know we're getting a sweet deal, just that quick glance, 3 to 5 minutes while they're on the phone, I'm running numbers, I'm making offers, and just doing all that while I actually have the seller with me. Because then I don't know if you guys have found yourself in this pattern where you're going through your leads and then you're comping the property, and then you call the seller, and then you comp the property, then you call the seller. That's not really time efficient. You got to get good at running numbers on the fly.
Right. Agreed.
So are you using some sort of programs and just kind of getting the numbers from there? Or are you like picking ARV properties, looking through them, figuring out the ARV? Or is it just, hey, we look at these 3 websites and we get the number and
Yeah, so we have MLS access to all the markets that we're in. So I mean, it's pretty crystal clear. But if you don't have MLS access, I mean, you can run comparables on any site. I mean, some people use RPR, some people use PropStream, some people use Zillow. I mean, I find myself using Zillow sometimes too.
Right.
And I think the reason I feel comfortable doing this is because I've learned how to analyze a deal. When you're looking at a subdivision and you're seeing numbers at 300, 320, 370, 350, I know that if I'm shooting my shot, which probably is going to be at like that 150, 170 range, and I lock in a deal at that price, like there's no way I can lose.
Right.
There's just no way I can lose. And I think that's a big problem that people run into with virtual closing and virtual deals is like they overanalyze everything. Right? When as for us, it's like shoot your shot. I'm seeing comps at 300 plus. You're telling me if I can't if I pick this up at 150 that I shouldn't feel comfortable? I mean,
Right.
I'm feeling solid at that point.
Right. So when do you, I guess, give like, hey, our max, our average profit per deal, we want it to be 50 grand. Or do you have like, are at a property of 300, if the lady wanted 200, would you still lock it up?
Absolutely. You can't go broke making a profit. They can't all be home runs.
Okay.
I've understood that during my 5 years of just being on the phones. It's like they can't all be home runs, but you know what that does do, because in a situation, at least here in Phoenix, I mean, we're picking up property with 300 plus ARV. I mean, things are so hot, you could probably move it for like 210, 220 in certain situations. So, I'm looking at everything like, you know what, whether we're making 5 grand, whether we're making 10 grand, a win is a win. Me getting a new seller, me getting a new contract, new property in our pipeline, that's going to create momentum for me. Because now I close this deal, I finish the day strong. What do you think happens the next day? I'm on a winning streak. I'm
Right.
flowing. I'm hot. Closer got the hot hand.
Heating up.
Yes,
Balls
sir.
back. Balls back. Let's go.
Exactly. A win's a win, guys. You can't go broke making a profit.
That's amazing. Hey,
That's
Andy,
a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
That's 100% a t-shirt. Hey,
I agree.
so you've got the team. You guys are pumping. Got a lot of respect in the industry. A lot of people know you guys. So you got to strike while the iron's hot, right? So what are the next key moves for you guys? Are you looking at hiring another 1 or 2 people, going into more markets, or are you looking at taking these core 3-4 people and just making everyone stronger and holding off on picking up another team member?
That's definitely so we just let go of 2 people. So I mean, team was a little bigger, but I mean, we had to part ties. If you don't produce in this business, you don't eat, and then you put the company in a weird position, right? So, I mean, with that said, as of right now, I mean, I'm really just focused on dialing in with my guys. I mean, the goal is that they become better than me on the phones.
Right.
That's a goal for anybody. I think in my position on the sales director end is like, when your acquisitions reps are better than you, then you're doing something right. And then moving forward, I mean, I'm definitely not opposed to bringing more people on if honestly core values align and if hustle aligns. Because you guys know, good people are tough to come across. So when you come across somebody, I mean, I'm definitely in an open mindset where I'll bring somebody in, but I'm just not actively hiring.
Gotcha. So what does the rest of your team look like? So it's you and 3 other acquisitions, and you're still on
two other acquisitions, and then
okay.
And then we have a dispo manager, transaction coordinator, and then Alex is our CEO.
Gotcha. Okay. And so I know like Carlos and them, they do a lot of fix and flips now, and take the properties down and stuff like that. Are you guys doing that as well?
Yeah, not to be quite honest, not as heavily as them, but yeah, I mean, we always have 1 to 2 flips going on.
Gotcha.
I mean, at any given moment.
Okay, so you guys are still wholesale heavy, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay. Well, I got
So
a quick question about that. Are you more excited about maybe like 2 or 3 wholesale deals, or are you more excited as to when the flip transacts and that big income comes in?
Good question. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the getting cash right away is nice. I mean, I think we can all agree, right? That's why wholesaling is amazing and it's lucrative because you can get paid right away and you really don't have to do too much legwork other than lock up a sexy deal and coordinate a buyer. But I mean, to answer your question, definitely on the flip end, because I mean, more profits.
Right. So do you find yourself talking with Alex and saying, listen, man, we need to flip everything. Like, why are we wholesaling? Like, if you don't mind me like going deep, like what kind of approach or kind of like impact do you have on those decisions, or what would you prefer?
I love.
Yeah, in that sense, I'll be honest. I've wholeheartedly trusted Alex my entire journey, and it's worked out pretty well.
He's a good
Yeah, he's been a great leader to me. So I always advise him, hey, I believe that this is our next flip. We should cherry pick this one. This is a great deal. It's going to be vacant. This one doesn't need so much work. We got it at, X amount of dollars. So, I mean, in that regards, I mean, my influence is definitely there, and I get to help kind of pick and choose what we prefer. But truthfully, I mean, I just kind of let him make CEO moves, bro. That's out of my pay grade. I'm just a fucking badass closer.
Right.
And I'm a low ego guy, bro. Like, for those of you guys who don't know me, too well, I'm a low ego guy. That's always been my philosophy is like, I don't care to be the center of attention. I don't claim I have more money than you. I don't claim to be a better person than you, right? I'm not about that. Simply like for me, it's like, how can I contribute to my team? How can I be the best asset for whatever we're facing right now? And some people might call it stupid. Some people, would agree with me. But again, I mean, I just trust my leader to make the right decisions for our company. He's always taken care of me since day one. I mean, we went to school since we're in kindergarten. If it wasn't for him, I'd probably still be flipping pizzas at Domino's. And I would have been happy there because I was a badass pizza flipper too.
Hell yeah. Getting it.
Doesn't that piss you guys off when you're like, when you go somewhere and it's like somebody's working at a restaurant, they're maybe like a server, a hostess, and then they have a bad attitude about what they're doing. You're just like, shit, why do you have a bad attitude? This is what you're getting paid to do. And like, for me, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I mean, whether I'd be at a dealership slinging cars or here slinging properties or at Domino's flipping pizza, like, I'm just trying to be the best at what I can, best at what I am supposed to do at this moment. You feel me?
Yeah. So you ever go to Domino's and you go and you watch the dough show and the guy's not doing as great a job as they used to do and you get upset with him?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you say to the guy?
I mean, I just kind of hold my tongue. I just kind of bite my tongue. But dude, when I was there, I was going nuts, bro. I mean, I was fucking giving the people a show. I was doing my thing, man.
Dude, when
is the dough show a thing?
Well, the funny thing is, there's a Domino's in my neighborhood, and I bring my little. I got two little boys. I got a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I got a G. Yeah, so I bring all three of the little kids to the fucking Domino's, and they have on the side they have these 3 little steps, right? The little kids they step up, and then there's this glass wall. And then there's a sign that says the dough show, and they watch the people kneading the dough and flipping the dough. So there is the. Did you know that, or do they?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm telling you, I used to kill dough shows, bro. That was all me right there.
It used to be dough shows. Now it's Dogecoin.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Fuck, dude. That's so, awesome, what is working now that's different than what was working before?
So I think similar to your question. I mean, I think virtual closing is easier than ever. I mean, with the pandemic going on, I mean, I guess that kind of falls under that category. It's almost like virtually closing people, virtually doing business is almost expected. It's like the preferred route to go for most people. And I think it's like all that full year of quarantine. I mean, got everybody accustomed to convenience, that convenience factor of things. I mean, people are like, hey, you're telling me I don't have to leave my property. In certain cases, it's like, you mean to tell me I don't have to leave the state I'm currently in to let you in the property and meet you in person? It's just a win-win, you know?
Right.
So I think that has definitely become easier, is just getting people to make that decision over the phone right then and there. Just present them with the DocuSign.
Yeah. One of the things that we think is super important with that approach is being service oriented to the seller as far as what we can do for them to make it easier for them. Lock changes, lock boxes, anything that we can do to make that approach easier. What are you guys doing, if you don't mind me asking, like to make it easier for the seller so they can easily more agree to doing that virtual agreement?
See, so it's not so much the fact that I'm offering something extra than I normally would, but now I'm just setting the expectation that this is the way our company conducts business. So for example, if I'm dealing with a seller and she's like, "Hey, so how would this work if if I accept your offer?" I mean, I'm telling the seller, "Hey, well, it's real simple. Just kind of like I told you, based on the price per square foot, we know what our budget is for this property. We know what our rehab costs are going to be for your property to get it up to par. Now, with that said, in terms of what I'd be doing is giving you an offer today because I know my numbers. Now, with that said, if that offer works for you, then the steps are simple. What I'd be doing is submitting a written offer to your email, and then we'd go ahead and review that document together, and we're both going to go ahead and fill the document out together as long as everything makes sense. How does that sound? And at that point, they're going to tell me, well, I mean, if that's how it's done, then let's do it, right? I mean, people generally don't object. And don't get me wrong, I think we come across it where, like, for us, I want to say 95% of our deals are all virtual. I'll still get my hands dirty. I'll still go on an appointment if I have to. But once again, when you just set the expectations to a seller and you let them know, hey, this is how we do business, at that point, they're just going to take your lead.
Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And how are you guys, what are you doing for boots on the ground in all the markets that you're in? And how many markets are you in, by the way?
We are in pretty much the same ones, which is Las Vegas, Texas, Arizona, Northern and Southern California. And then we dabbled a little bit with nationwide PPC recently, and so far it's been going pretty good. That's where we got the 80K deal in Naples.
Gotcha. Okay, nice, man. Well, if you ever get anything in Jacksonville, dude, I'm
for sure.
I'm your guy. Here's your
Absolutely.
buyer. Well, actually, I'll wholesale it, but here's your buyer.
Everybody wins, bro. Everybody wins.
So what are you doing for
pockets, man?
What are you doing for boots on the ground?
Generally, I mean, every market. Luckily, I think we're spoiled in this sense, dude. Is like
Right.
the guys have such a big social media following that.
Right.
I mean, whenever we need boots on the grounds, we either already know somebody in that market from all the people we've talked to from All In, or I mean, we can just post on Instagram, and we always get realtors reach back out, so that's pretty effective. And then also, I mean, get creative with it, right? I mean, you can send a mobile notary to go out there and do anything that you were planning on doing out there. So
Right.
I think really the thing is just getting creative.
Oh, on that note, if you don't mind me asking, man, do you guys participate in any creative approaches as far as seller financing, owner financing, sub-2, stuff like that? I know through our experience, which is probably closer to a couple of years ago, we felt it to be a little bit of a disruption because we think that, like in our experience, sellers didn't really understand it, and it took this whole education approach on teaching them how that worked, and that didn't work for us. We think that the cash approach is just an easier way to conduct business. So sellers understand cash purchases and they understand listing it and just getting their properties paid off. Do you guys do anything creative or sub-2 or anything like that?
It's not something I'm always like actively thinking about pitching. We own 3 or 4 sub-2s within our company. And I mean, we're familiar with them, but again, I mean, it's not anything that we're like going out of our way to really pitch to anybody. It's just sort of, if we get the feel that there's enough equity, if we get the feel that, again, sellers kind of savvy and they're educated, they're kind of willing to take that risk, and we'll kind of reciprocate the same thing. But for the most part, no, we're not really too heavily pitching it.
Gotcha.
To add on to that, what about like realtor referrals? Is that built into the acquisitions process at all?
Yeah, so we have I mean, we just have them shared onto our Podio workspace where any retail leads would get pushed there, and then at that point we just have realtors in our markets reach out to them.
Gotcha. Okay. You guys don't tee it up at all if it's going that route?
No, not really. And I think that's one of those things that we could do better, is just making sure that like we're maximizing on all our leads. But like for myself, I don't know, again, if this is bad attitude or good attitude, but when you just don't fit our buying criteria, I'm kind of like on to the next. There's like really
left on Tinder
that can be made here.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I like to think of it as Tinder. Like if you don't fit me, you know,
Yeah.
we swipe left,
You
we move
easily
on to the
swipe.
next.
Absolutely.
Dom,
Yeah.
remember he's 22. He's swiping right on everything.
On everything.
On everything.
Okay.
It's MAO.
Fucking just
all
treadmill
the
on the phone. Huh?
$500
Just
Hell yeah,
deals,
dude,
5K
just going in.
deals.
MAO, 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 MAO.
MAO.
Whoever arrives first, I'm in.
How old are you again?
Jesus. What is going on out there in Jacksonville right now?
It's Florida.
Dude, you don't
baby.
even want to know.
The quarantine, man. Quarantine is
I haven't
doing this
left
to
the
us.
office since
Yeah.
February of 2020.
Boy,
yeah.
girl, goat, we're in.
Jesus Christ. But you're young too, right? You're like 24, or how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 24, bro. I mean, I'm still figuring it all out, you know, like
Hell
just
yeah,
like
man.
everybody on here.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people like they look up to us and they looked up to what we've established. And for me, it's like, you know, I feel like I've done nothing, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. You know,
This ain't shit.
whenever you close, like for me, for example, I remember I'll never forget like, whenever I was aiming for my first $100,000 a month. Right, that was all I thought about. I eat, sleep, and breathe that shit. It's like I woke up, 6-figure month on the way, 6-figure month on the way, right? And then when it really happened, I wasn't overly joyed. I wasn't like overly excited because
Like
it
what's
already happened here, and I have so much higher expectations to myself. Where again, it's like you really haven't done shit yet. Like my parents aren't retired yet, so I haven't done anything in my eyes.
Right.
For me, it's only up from here, man. You know, we have a good company, we've got a good organization, good people, and you know, it's going to pay off. I just have to do my part.
Right.
And the way I do that is by bringing me to the table, obviously.
Yeah. So you have 3 closers, including yourself. What's the marketing like? So you talked about the team. What are you guys doing on like marketing wise? You mentioned nationwide PPC.
Yeah.
Are you guys still
Targeted
doing
PPC,
calling, all that stuff?
Yeah, targeted PPC in the markets that we're in, and then cold calling as well. But PPC is definitely bread and butter.
What do you mean by targeted PPC?
Targeted PPC. So for a while, again, we started dabbling in nationwide. And again, I'm not a marketing wizard, guys. So don't hold me to my word. But we started marketing nationwide. But by targeted, I mean here locally, here in Phoenix, Las Vegas, Northern and Southern California, where we're only getting leads in specific counties.
Gotcha.
You know, in those competitive markets, as opposed to like nationwide PPC, you'll kind of get leads in the middle of nowhere sometimes, where you know, you're just like, yeah, I'm not calling that person. I can't do shit with that house.
Right. A mobile home in a random place.
Yeah, mobile home in the boonies. That's a no-go. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even want to get my hands in that.
Yeah. I gotcha. So targeted PPC, cold calling. Are you guys still doing text blasting?
No, man. No
more
way.
text blasting.
No
Okay.
more. I mean, I've heard. We just had All In just had Momentum event here this weekend, and I mean, I talked to a few people who are still actively
how was that?
alive. I think at this point, right?
Right.
Alive doing SMS, but for us, I mean, we were on the really early wave. We made some good money. We noticed it got too competitive, and you know, we just scrapped it. To be honest.
Right.
What about you guys?
So we don't really do it too much, but we stopped doing it, and then we're just now incorporating it back.
Yeah.
But mainly.
Well, good luck, guys. I mean, I'm sure there's still money to be made there, but yeah, I mean, our hands are pretty full just with the leads that we're getting right now, which again is just online leads, and then some cold call leads as well.
Oh, cold calling never dies, right?
Absolutely not. See, the thing is, like when you're able to get somebody on the phone, you know, it's never a matter of quality of like, oh, this lead is shit, or you know, the cold caller, you know, just put in some random person in here. It becomes a matter of it's like, you know, somebody's giving me their time of day.
Right.
You know, can I get them to hear me out? Can I get them to, you know, get to the point where I can make an offer? I mean, we all know that's the most important thing you want to look for on acquisitions. It's like, how many offers are you making consistently? Are you making offers consistently, right? I mean, me and Adrian just coached this guy, and because we do the closers only, where we do some sales training, and this dude's like, fuck, like I have nothing going on. He's like, I don't have any, you know, any deals coming in. And first thing we do is like, okay, how many offers have you made this week? The guy's like, 0. Like, how many offers did you make last week? 3. And it's like, well, dude, that's your problem. you're not getting in front of sellers and you're not letting them know what you can pay for their property. How do you expect anybody to say yes?
Needs to be 50 a
Right.
day.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How many
Yeah.
offers would you say you guys make on a daily basis?
I would say on average, anywhere from individually per the three of us, anywhere from 5 to 7.
Nice. That's good.
And that's a day. That's a grind right there.
Yeah, it's
Hell
a good
yeah,
day.
dude.
Everybody
great
on here, recognize this. I promise you, if every seller answered their phone, if every lead in your system picked up that first time that you called them, real estate would be easy.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a big part of it is like, you get these leads and people don't answer you till after like the 5th or 6th, 7th contact.
Right.
Right. That's why you have to be consistent with the volume of calls that you're doing.
10 days of hell.
Yep.
10
Yes,
days.
sir.
Yeah, the follow up, that can't stop, man. Several times a day for the first, 10 days or so before you call that dead. What do you guys do before you call a lead dead?
What do I do before I see? That's a tough question. See, for me, I'm kind of like stingy in that sense where like you're not dead unless you told me to go kill myself. Like, bro, I'm just keeping it real.
Well, he hung up on me. I'll call him next week.
Still got
Dude,
a
Exactly.
Not for
You know
nothing.
this.
We have a junior acquisition manager. He had 3 people hang up on him today, and he called them right back. And they all got back on the line, and they let him finish out.
And
whether
then
they're
hung
gonna-
up on him.
Whether you're gonna
Yo,
be,
that's a good sign, guys. That's a hustler right there. It's
Oh,
like you're
yeah,
literally bashing your
I'm
head
gonna
into the
divorce
wall.
my wife, and I'm gonna marry him. She's right over here.
Jesus, he's already closing you, bro. He's already closing you.
It looks like you're pointing at me. No, she's really back there. He's not pointing at me. I'm gonna divorce my wife right there.
But yeah, guys, I mean, I think, once again, it's like, you can't, for me, you asked me, it's like, when do I really market dead? So again, when somebody tells me some fucking wild shit, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's no chance we're going to do business with this person. But like, I remember, I'll never forget this deal, guys. I'll never forget this deal. There was this one guy, right? And he came in through a cold call and we had a great conversation. The guy was elderly. He had a sick wife. He wanted to sell the property, but because his wife's health concerns, he just wasn't ready to pull the plug. And we probably spent 60, 70 minutes on one conversation. And I made my offer. Once again, said price sounded good, but he wasn't willing to move forward. And after that phone call, guys, I kid you not, no bullshit. I called him for a year straight. I want to say 2 to 3 times a week. No lie. 2 to 3 times a week for a year straight, never answered my phone call. Never returned my call. I mean, I just thought like, shit, I got to get in touch with this guy. You told me you like my price. Like, I'm going to get a yes or a no.
Right.
And, fast forward, sheesh, I want to say a year and like 2-3 months later, he takes my call. And I remember I called him. He answers. He's like, hey, Andy, I can't talk right now, but I think I'm going to sell the house in the future. Bam, hangs up on me. So then we go through another cycle of like 7 months, the same shit. I'm calling. I'm trying to get a yes or a no. No answer. Not a sign from him. Then literally he calls me around the 2-year time frame and he's like, I remember I answered. He's like, hey, Andy, I'm ready to sell my house now. Does your offer still stand? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's get this thing done. So I go back, I look at the numbers on the property, and he was following up with me based off of numbers that I'd given him 2 years ago. And this is for a property here. This is for a property here in Phoenix. So you can already think, it's a hot market. During these 2 years while he's ghost on me, equity is just boom, 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 boom. Right? At the time we were going to make, if he accepted my first offer, we probably would have made like 20 grand. Fast forward 2 years, we end up making $97,000 on this property. Jeez. And I remember I told myself, damn, no matter how many times I have to call somebody, if they don't answer, I can't dead this lead because the cost of opportunity. If I have the time during my workday where I can make a phone call to him, or it's going to take me 2 to 5 minutes.
Right. Right.
Am I willing to do this? And the answer for me has always been yes.
Yep.
So once again, I mean, I think for any like rock star closer, any solid acquisitions, you don't, everybody gets discouraged, but more often than not, you have your eye on the prize. You know what you want,
Right.
and that's to get a deal. So for
No,
me, I don't ever get something unless, again, I've gotten a hard no, and if I've made an offer on multiple different occasions and it's been, declined on multiple different occasions.
right. Right. No, yeah, and it's true because if you put it in the way of looking at it as, if I gave you 95 grand to make 2 phone calls a week for the next 2 years, and they might not answer, make 2 phone calls, and then you do that straight for 2 years, I'll give you 95 grand. People would be like, fuck yeah, I'll do that all day. But people don't want to fucking follow up, and they don't want to follow up.
Dude, that's why, like, I always say, and it's obviously not a marketing strategy, but I like to compare follow-up leads to being like a timeless marketing strategy. You want to know why? Because people aren't willing to put in that work.
Right.
People aren't willing, like you said, to take that uncertainty of 2 years for something that may or may not happen. And don't get me wrong, I've also lost deals that I worked for 2 years where it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But the fact that I had the chance to be able to generate revenue out of that follow-up lead, I mean, that tells me everything I need to know,
Right.
Like,
Well, a lot
like
of
they say
people-
on Wolf of Wall Street, call them. He says, we're gonna keep calling until they buy or they fucking die or some shit, some intense shit like that.
So they buy.
Right? It's like, that's do you have that mentality? I mean,
Well,
I sure as hell do.
I mean, and most people aren't even anticipating being in the game for 2 years. You know what I mean? All the people hitting them up through those time frames, I would argue for every 100 phone calls, maybe 5 of them are from credible investors, 10 that actually have a business model that'll last 2 years. So is that your
Tell us how you really feel, Hayden.
Hayden, why don't you go deep? Go ahead.
What
deep,
is
The
that?
whole time, the
Don't worry,
one
you
thing
wanna
you say.
I'm just sitting back here, man. I'm just trying to
We're
learn.
just having a good time.
What's your
Hayden's always at the 30-foot view, looking at all the
Oh yeah.
but
the bottom feeders.
that's not very high, man. Is that your longest like follow-up close deal?
That 2-year one, yes, absolutely. Up close and personal. There we go.
Yeah, that's a little uncomfortable for me even.
Yeah.
No, but
I have a quick
Naaman
question.
today.
Dude, this guy watching Naaman, he's a fucking stud. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm calling my old ass leads tomorrow.
I have a quick question. I don't mean to get dull on everyone. You're talking about following up and marking leads dead. What about you get a lead in and they never pick up and you never talk to those people? What about the ones you're calling, they're not picking up? You're calling, they're not picking up 3 times a day, 10 days, 15 to 10. What happens to those? Do those get marked dead at some point?
Nah, keep calling until eventually, I mean, they've kind of fallen into the graveyard of dead leads where I just don't have enough time to touch them every day, Obviously, due to new marketing coming in and checking in with older follow-up leads that are becoming a little more recent follow-up leads.
I guess that's my question. The old graveyard dead, when does that happen? How, after what period of time?
Sheesh. I mean, I would say no less than like 50 to 75 contact attempts for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and once again, I mean, it'll vary. Don't get me wrong. Like as you start to go through the motions of making phone calls every day, some of these people might get hit on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it passes me on a Thursday and Friday, and then they'll get called again Saturday through Thursday or whatever the case is. But more often than not, in that work week, as long as I have a task assigned, once again, I mean, it doesn't take anything for me to try again. And also, I mean, don't just sit there and dial the same number, right? Skip trace that number. If it's a hot lead, they inserted an asking price on the web form, and it's here local, I'm definitely willing to go out and door knock the property, do whatever we have to do to, once again, get a yes or a no. That's what we're all looking for.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Give us some closure. We're closers. We need a closure.
We need closure, baby. We need closure for sure.
Funeral.
So what are you? What's the thing the training that you guys do? The closers only, or what is it called?
Yeah, closers only. So it's a 6-week training. And I mean, during that training, Adrian and myself, I mean, pretty much we're just implementing everything we do on the phones, from how we personally negotiate deals, how we build rapport with sellers, how we're closing these people virtually. I mean, we're teaching our students step by step. I mean, pretty much holding your hand until you learn how to do it. And it's an amazing thing, bro. I mean, we've created results. Let me tell you about this lady, bro. I don't mean to go on a rant here, but dude, there's this lady in our last 6-week training. I kid you not. She signed up, and we're getting to know. The first phone call is always about getting to know everybody and setting goals. And we asked her, "Have you closed your first deal?" She says, "No, I haven't closed my first deal yet." We're like, "Okay, how long have you been in the business?" 4 years. 4 fucking years. And we're like, you've been dabbling in real estate for 4 years and you haven't closed your first deal. And to me, it blew my mind. I mean, God bless her soul, because I'll be honest, if I'm doing something for 4 years and I don't see money, I'm probably gonna move on to something else. That's
blow
just
my
truth.
brains out, dude.
Exactly, bro. I mean, I can't handle that shit. 4 years, absolutely not. But luckily, I mean, by the grace of God and just through what we were able to do, I remember that call ended and I was like, "Adrian, I don't care how much money we make for people. If we don't get that lady her first fucking deal," I'm like, "we didn't do shit." Sure enough, we gave her extra time and attention, and we made sure that she was understanding everything. And by the end of the 6-week training, we finally got her first deal. She made 20 grand. And, we made people a lot more money, but for me, that one was just special because it was like, shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
Somebody who's been battling out here for 4 years. I mean, can you imagine what they've been going through?
Right.
Like, think about how many people she's been waiting to get that shut up check for 4 years.
Right.
And it just never came. And then finally we made it happen for her. So, I mean, that was something I was really proud of. But yeah, Clover's only 6-week training. It's just an interactive room where me and Adrian and myself, we teach people how to close. We make live phone calls, all that fun stuff.
When's your next one?
We have them coming up August 17th.
17th. Oh, that's
everybody. I'll be honest. Like I wasn't even anticipating to bring it up. We're actually like 90% full for this next group that we have going on. But I'll be honest. Like, your company. Ooh, closers only, baby.
Closers only, baby. Let's go.
Closers only. Yeah, guys. I mean, you can have the best marketing systems in place. You could talk to 100 fucking buyers every single day if that's what you want to. Right? You can spend all this time just thinking about if this is the right way to do things. But I'll be honest, when you come across a good deal, you don't need any of that.
Right.
A buyer will come flocking to you. Stop spending your time all day looking for buyers. Focus on talking to homeowners. Focus on making offers. Focus on following up with people who've told you no. That's the important shit.
Close, baby.
But I'm sure, the master integrators probably disagree with me, Like Sal would probably be sitting here and be like, "Fuck no, you're crazy."
Fuck no.
They're not closers. You're the closer. So, I mean.
Well, here's the thing. Like, when it comes to sales, especially in our industry, like, I still think our industry is relatively new. Wholesaling in real estate investing has been around for a while. But as far as wholesaling being a popular industry, I mean, let me know if you feel differently. Last 4 or 5 years is when it's really started ramping up. And what we've noticed is you can try to apply the science to it as much as you want, and you have these scripts and these levels, but that art is in there cold-heartedly, right? So you have that gut feel on what you know is right and what you feel is right, and when something is deemed dead or you still want to follow up or whatever the case may be. And that, I think, is what you're hinting at, right? You're hinting at, it's not dead until it's dead. I'm going to follow up forever. I'm still going to try to make this deal happen. Am I right?
Absolutely. And I think that's everybody who we have in this building. I mean, that's kind of our mindset, because once again, I mean, I don't have the luxury of security. I know that if I don't produce for our company, then, my commission check is not going to be sexy. And I like sexy commission checks.
Sexy commission checks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how can, if, people want to follow you further from here, how can they find you?
Yeah, Instagram is probably the best place to reach me which is Wolf of Closing. And then if anybody needs help beyond that, just let me know if you're interested in the 6 weeks or, again, I mean, for us, it's always been about creating results for people. I'll hop on a phone call for somebody if it means making you money.
Hell yeah.
Oh, can you hop on the phones with us tomorrow, dude?
Who said that? Was that a viewer or is that you guys?
He cut off.
Yeah, I think he fell out.
Yeah, that was the answer that you're
Yo,
waiting for.
are we frozen?
You hop on the phones? I guess not. But yeah.
Hey guys,
I want
I
to
might
say
be
that he
muted.
said yes.
Yeah, hey.
Did his audio go out?
Can't hear you guys.
Yeah. Do you
It's
want to
starting
fix
to pop
it?
a little bit.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, right on time.
Hey, Andy, I think you went out. We're at the tail end, but I think we conveyed
Can't hear you.
that
I
you have
can't
the
hear you, boys.
closersonly.com.
Ghost.
We gave your handle, Instagram handle is Wolf of Closing, and I think that you're as open as we are as far as people reaching out to you. Like at any given time, Gonzalo and myself
gun
will say
rogue,
that
boys.
people can
Can't
reach
hear what
out
you
to
guys
us
are
at any
saying.
point in time with any questions, and we're here to help. And I feel like you have the same willingness, so that's amazing. And if you guys want to learn more from him, follow him and go to his website, closersonly.com, and they have some stellar acquisitions training. And we appreciate you, dude. So, G, we all good?
I think so. I think Naaman said you guys can't hear each other, but I can hear you both.
Oh, so then that's our fault.
Dude, that's
our
awesome. If they can still hear you, we love you.
fault. So, Andy, thanks a lot for coming on. Stay on the line. We're going to try to bring you back in. But in the meantime, guys, we appreciate you guys for joining. Have a stellar rest of the week. And, guys, I'm Dom.
And I'm G,
And this is the Cash Geeks Network. And we'll talk to you next time.
featuring Hayden.